All right, evening, guys. We'll begin when at least 4 or 5 more students are in the class. Then we can have a fulsome discussion about all matters relating to your coursework as well as the graded class activity, etc. Did you guys see the email I sent for your coursework or relating to your coursework?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, just wanted to know. So we'll go through it.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Miss Sims.
All right, evening. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost half the class is here. So I think we can begin. Do we begin or we wait another 2 minutes or so?
Wait 2 minutes. You can wait 2 minutes, sir. Give it 15 minutes.
Wait 15 minutes?
No, we can give it another 2, make it 15, and then we can begin.
Okay, all right. So in other words, 5:15.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so good evening, everybody. So we have, before we get to the lecture, there are some matters we need to discuss. I do have a noise cancellation headset, but I just don't know how to use it to cancel the noise so you don't hear the background noise. But let's first discuss the class assignment that was given last week. If I can find it, where did I save it? All right, here. All right, so the first thing I'll do, I'll go to Turnitin because that's where you'll have to upload the class assignment. And I think at the beginning, when I first met you, I introduced you to the whole notion of Turnitin, but I'm sure you are very much aware of Turnitin. Oh, this is digital marketing. Didn't I create a principles of marketing? No, I didn't. So I'm going to create a class. I'm going to call it principles of marketing. Let me just share screen so you see what I'm doing. And that is where you're going to upload your work so that I'm able to check for plagiarism. Principles. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Principles of marketing. Let's just make it, and this is 1201. Subject, let's call it, what am I going to put it as? You have to put it on a, let's call it business, right? Business. Level is undergraduate. All right. All right, can you take a picture of that or record it for me, the class ID and the enrollment key? It is very important that you have that because you're going to need it to get into the class. All right, so the class has been created, yes.
Sir, there was a date there, a due date. Could you look back at it for me, please?
Don't worry about it.
Or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just, I'm walking you through the process, so just allow me, all right? Click off. Not sure if it's my.
So when I finish, I can bring back the screen with this information where so you can take a picture.
It's in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
I'm not sure why my internet is moving so slow. Usually, it doesn't move this slow. All right, so let's say class work. All right, so today you're going to upload it for me by tomorrow. Today is what? Today's the 19th, so the due date is the 20th. Classwork, let me just go to the options. More repository. Standard. All right, submit. All right, so I want for you guys to, let me just show you how you do that. You're going to actually register. You're going to join the class. Let me show you how to do that. All right, share screen. This is it. Okay. Creating a student. An account. Some of you might have an account already if you signed up with the institution, so you might get an error. Please watch this. All right, so the first thing, let me go like this first of all. Let me just pause it and move this so I can see what I'm doing. Copy. All right, watch the, what the, all right, so you're going to, so I'm going to show you the video, but it's also in the chat, all right? And you're going to, some of you already have a Turnitin account, so you might not need to create an account, but actually just join the class. So let's watch it together and then you do your own thing. 5 minutes or so just to create your account. Let me know when you're finished. Remember, the link is in the chat, so you can watch it on your own. If you're not, if you need to revisit or remind yourselves of the steps. For some persons, you might not need to create an account because you already have a Turnitin account. You might just need to add yourself to the assignment.
So sorry, don't you have to go through the same procedure to do that?
No, you don't. You would not create an account if you're just adding yourself.
If we're gonna add ourselves to that, right? But I'm saying, how would we'd have to go into the platform to do that, don't you think?
Yes, miss. Could you just try what I just showed you and then tell me what you see?
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, afternoon.
I just log in on.
So you're creating your, let me reshare it in the chat so that you can see the link. So you're going to create your Turnitin account or just add yourself to the assignment. So watch so I just shared it again in the chat. So just watch it's very short. It's a minute, less than 2 minutes long, and just follow the steps. Oh, and go in the WhatsApp group for the enrollment key and both the enrollment key, what they call the other one again, is enrollment and so the class ID and the enrollment key I posted in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So I don't have access to the WhatsApp. You can send me directly on here.
Can you put yourself in the group, please? You're a part of the class. Everybody must.
Sir, you're going to listen to me. I am a part of the group. However, my phone was left in my coworker's car.
I cannot send it to you directly because I don't have your number.
No, I was telling to send me to you directly on here.
Okay. Anybody's in the class as yet? Share. Has anyone joined the class?
I'm still in the class, sir.
I'm talking on Turnitin.
Mr. Clark, we're supposed to, the thing when we say sending on the WhatsApp, what we supposed to do with that?
Did you see the link that I shared in the chat about how to sign
Sir, I named it, you know. So I just see something on the platform with eternity something at the last minute. I never really know what I'm supposed to do.
Can you watch the video and follow the instructions, please?
Good evening, sir. Can you resend the link? Because I'm just signing on.
Sir, I have one more question. Sir?
Yes, but somebody's playing in the background. Are you talking to me and also playing the music? All right, go ahead for me, the person who was talking. I'm going to reshare the link while the person is talking. Why did I do the link? Is there anybody who's successful joining? If not, I'll just leave it and then we come back to it. It's actually not that difficult. All right, so 3 persons are in the class now. So Franksome, Green, and McKay. So Fabian, Camelia, and Frankson are in the class. All right, so let's leave that and come back to it while the others are, because we can't use the entire time for that. The other thing that I want to talk to you about, so we'll leave it on about the last 15 minutes or so of the class. The other thing I want to talk to you about is your coursework, and I'm going to share a screen so I can walk you through what I did. I realize it's a 27-page document, but only the first page matters to you. The other pages are just examples of what. All right, are you seeing my screen? I think this is too big. All right, so it says group coursework, 4 to 6 persons. It's due August 25. It says select a local or regional product or service and conduct an industrial analysis in the following areas. Overview of the brand or company, internal data, SWOT analysis, looking at the internal factors, those are strengths and weaknesses, carry out a steep analysis, and the SWOT analysis looking at the external factors, then looking at the competitive environment, then looking at global citizenship and equity. That's really just talking about sustainable marketing, corporate social responsibility, and environmentalism, making recommendations based on the analysis, and then of course ensuring the assignment is done according to APA format. You must have sources because it means that you'd have consult secondary sources. And you see, this is the rubric. So each area is assigned a set of marks, and the total marks is 60. So I gave you the table of content to kind of give you an image of how it looks overall. So you have an introduction / background. This is what we mean by internal data: product category, marketing and brand position, sales, annual revenues. These are things that you get sometimes from an annual report. Sales, distribution channels, the SWOT analysis, the internal factor, strengths, weaknesses, summations, and implications and recommendations. And then the current trends and marketplace implications is really the steep analysis. SWOT analysis, looking at the external factors, threats and opportunities, and then again you look at summations, implications, and the marketing mix, the competitive environment under global citizenship and equity. You're looking at sustainable marketing, environmentalism, and social responsibility. Most people call it corporate social responsibility. And of course, your reference list. So how does it look in real life? So here's an example. In this, the person looked at a Canadian brand called David's Tea. So this is the introduction / background, where you give the reader or the marker a sense of the brand, where it came from, and what it is about. Probably the brand also has other categories of goods and or services. You make mention of them, but of course there's a specific product or service that you're looking at and talking a little bit about where it operates. Probably so it might be a regional brand, but the regional brand that operates outside of the region. It might be a local brand, but a local brand that operates outside of Jamaica. Looking at internal data just means product category. So what type of, is it a part of, for example, the beverage industry, the tea industry? What kind of industry is it? The marketing and brand position. These are things that we get actually from the company itself. They're usually located either in their annual reports on their websites or even in their marketing material. And some of the literature that is on their website, especially on the About Us section. Remember now that you have to properly cite the information so that you're not, so that Turnitin will not indicate a very high similarity index. This is why I'm trying to walk you through the Turnitin component. The sales annual, usually you get this again from their annual report or from PIOJ in the case of Jamaica, or from Statin. Some of this might be a little bit difficult. You might have to find it in an article, like a Gleaner article, an Observer, or even a news report. Especially the business report on TVJ and or business reports on TVJ and or CVM, and there are other local stations, especially since you have business TV and they focus primarily on Jamaican business. So try not to choose a brand where, or a product where you're going to have a very difficult time obtaining data or information on. All right, choose one that information is quote unquote readily available. This is just looking at product sales breakdown in terms of the category and things and their distribution channels. In this case, it was brick and mortar, meaning that persons were walking into the store. E-commerce means online, and wholesale, meaning that they're selling to someone else, what is called a marketing intermediary for resale. Then the SWOT analysis, the SWOT analysis, the S is for strength, the W is for weakness, the O is for opportunity, and the T is for threat. And if you do it in this kind of form, tabular form, you see that it makes the writing not too wordy, or it makes it a little, it makes it readable and more visually appealing. And in some of your case, in some instances, you might even have to call the company and speak like to the manager, if it is that they're, or the marketing officer, if they make themselves readily available. Then from that SWOT analysis, now you do a summation and make recommendations. All right, this is a document that you'll have to kind of go through for yourself. If you notice here, they have the Our Story, which is located on the company's website. And then now, this is where you come with it. This is a steep analysis. And the steep analysis, you're looking at the technological, regulatory / political, the economic and environmental, demographic, sociocultural factors that have to be taken in consideration by the company or by the brand. So in this case, technological increase in online purchase or e-commerce, this may pose as a negative for this particular brand because it relies heavily on its proprietary locations across North America, which means that it's a kind of brick and mortar brand. But in the case, especially now in a kind of pandemic, in the current pandemic, most companies know they're one of their major channels has to be some sort of e-commerce website or some sort of digital platform. So this is a steep analysis. Again, it's not something that is very wordy. You can actually, you actually have to sit down and kind of go through and digest some of the information and understand the product in its marketplace. The SWOT analysis now, where this part now, so the first part of the SWOT analysis looked at internal factors. Now, for the other part of the SWOT analysis now, as you see the O and the T are highlighted, you're looking at the opportunities and the threats. And done in a tabular form, then again, you make your summation, you do your quote unquote summation of your findings and then make recommendations. Then now you have what is called the marketing mix. You're talking about product, place, promotion, price, and you indicate those things in it based on your analysis or based on your research. The competitive analysis now is where you're making a comparison between the product and or service within its own industry and kind of comparing it to its competitors. All right. So what I usually say for this part is like you can start like for nationally or even internationally, where is the brand, like where's the category? So let us say it is tea. Where does it rank globally? Then you can look at it regionally, and then you can look at it locally. So is it, for example, globally, this particular product which is tea, is its international market share is growing, or is it shrinking? How is it doing regionally, and how is it doing locally? All right. And of course, pictures and stuff like that helps to make your assignment more appealing instead of just writing a full worded document. And I don't have a problem even if you do it in PowerPoint form, providing that I see ample information. This is just these are just revenue in comparison to, this is a part of the share of its revenue in terms of its competitors. So in the case of this brand, David's Tea, it occupies more share. It has more share in the marketplace in comparison to other brands. And they're showing you now, when it talks about the 4 Ps, what you're really doing is comparing the price of the product that you're looking at in comparison to your competitors. And remember, one of the lectures that we will do will focus on pricing and how pricing is a part of your marketing strategy. Metropolitan, this should be Metropolitan. No, that's the name of the tea, Metropolitan's tea. The global citizenship and the equity, as I said, is just really looking at sustainable and ethical marketing to ensure that the brand, first of all, adheres to all the local laws relating to marketing and relating to selling and buying in the marketplace. I think you have, for example, the Fair Trades Commission Act. There are various legislations that you can include as a part of this. Also, is it that it is, for example, taking in consideration the environment? Does it, for example, contribute to the society in any way? Things like that. So this is just a fancy term, global citizenship and equity, but it's really sustainable and ethical marketing. And these are just examples that the brand has been certified. For example, fair trade certified, meaning that it is abiding by all the international and or local fair trade legislations. This needs to go like this, right? And then you have your reference list. Usually you're supposed to be, yeah, then you have your reference list. I see some things in the chat, but I'll come to that. The second one, no, it's okay too. It didn't do as well as the one before. The person looked at KitKat. And again, it gives the overview of the organization. KitKat is really the brand or the trademark, and it is owned by Nestle. And it kind of gives you a sense of the chocolate market in terms of where Nestle ranks in comparison to other companies that also produce chocolates. And it gives you a sense of the worldwide growth of the chocolate industry. And as I said before, you can look at it regionally as well as locally. And it goes into the SWOT analysis. But this one, the first one is more comprehensive. The second one is not as strong as the first one. But again, I wanted to give you 2 samples to ensure that you understand, have a sense of how the assignment should look. And remember, no, you cannot lift from the information. I will know, and I do not take kindly to plagiarism. You will learn that the hard way if you do that. All right, and both assignments, I know inside out, all right, because I was heavily a part of the process of developing them as well as grading them, all right. So again, the second one is just a continuation of the first. Let me just see what some persons are saying in the chat.
Sir,
Yes.
that the work that you're showing us, that you said that you're heavily involved with planning and whatever, you did that for your bachelor degree?
So this is not an assignment that was done for a bachelor's degree. This is an
What was
assignment.
it?
It was an assignment similar to the year group students, like in your year, that they also had to do an industry analysis as a way to understand what we call foundational marketing concepts. It's really a way for you to understand the terms and the terminologies associated with marketing in the event that you choose marketing as your area of profession.
Okay.
Yes. And what will happen is, as you are working, what I suggest you do, first of all, don't wait until August 25 to actually do the product. Form your groups, and then you start working on different things. And at different point in time, what we can do every Wednesday about the last half hour, you say, sir, can you look at my work, my group work? We have started this. We have this, what you think about this? And we kind of do that every single class, or every Wednesday, you should give me an update. Where are you in the process of your group project? All right, and it's 4 to 6 persons. It means that all you need to do, you just divide the work. Okay, 4 of us. So Marsha, you take 1 and 2. Misha, you take X and Y. Marvin, you take X and Y. And Raymond, you take X and Y. And you divide up the work, and then you try to bring it together. There must be a group leader, somebody that kind of coordinates the work to ensure that we're on track. Have your group meetings. Of course, what I'll also ask you to do is to indicate the level of participation of the group members. If you're having challenges, ensure you report them to me. Ensure that you have documented evidence of the participation of your group members. So don't call persons on the phone and they say they're not doing anything. That's not evidence. You need to have a WhatsApp message or something of the sort, an email, where I can see evidence that the person did not do any work. And also, if you're in groups with somebody, remember, you're choosing your groups, I'm not choosing your groups, and the person refuses to do any work, don't argue with them. I will give them the grade accordingly. So there's no need for any fuss and fight. All right? Just ensure that you choose group members that you think will actually do work, not persons who are going to give you a very difficult time. All right, any other questions or comments relating to the coursework? I think it's a reasonable coursework. I think you can manage, especially with such a large number between 4 and 6 persons. And it will give you, as I said before, a very good grasp of the foundational concepts relating to marketing. Any questions or comments?
Sir, I know it's I understand the concept of the whole coursework, this coursework, but is it a CCCJ approved coursework?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna see then normally CCJ send them work. I'm gonna see it like that. I'm not sure.
Okay. And remember that Triple CJ's coursework, who you think write the Triple CJ coursework, is we write them, you know. It's not Triple CJ sitting in a room and write them and send them to us. We're the ones who actually write them.
Definitely, we know that, you know, well, you know that. It's the lecturers them.
Right. And even the course outline, the exams, all of those things, they're actually written by the lecturers, not Triple CJ. Triple CJ is really just rubber stamps what we do.
So based on the content of how this looks, normally at first when I get one will look just plain like this. That's why I ask. Normally it come with the CCJ heading and stuff.
I didn't put it on strip procedures, all of these, the fancy documents. Usually as I tell you, I really don't rely on strip procedures information. When it comes on to even my lectures and all that, I usually develop my content and I get them to rubber stamp it. Because I find that, and this is just for insight, I find that sometimes the level of rigor is not there and sometimes the information is archaic. So you're teaching students and you as a professional know that the industry has changed. I give an example, business communication. What I taught my students, I had to teach them what was on Triple CJ's course outline, but I actually had to teach them what was happening in the actual world. Because outside of Excelsior, I work as a marketing consultant locally, and I work as a marketing officer in Canada. Even today, as we speak, I still do marketing work in Canada. So I have a kind of unique perspective. I find that sometimes Triple CJ, even the textbook, you're teaching a course in 2021 and the textbook, the recommended text is 2011 or 2013. So the industry itself has moved on. All right. So as I said before, if you have any questions or anything, you just reach out to me. Let's just form your groups, start the work, and we can have a conversation. All right. Any other questions or comments?
Reserve them until we discuss on Wednesday, sir.
Yeah, but of course, some parts of this you're not able to do yet because
you'll be teaching it, yes.
Exactly. So you're going to do it in stages. So like the overview, you know, you can do the overview. You can identify the product or the brand that you're going to do, and you probably can start some parts of the internal analysis in terms of the product category, the market. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about brand positioning because we're going to look at segmentation and things like that. So there are different, so parts of it you can do. You can start doing, but other parts you're not ready to do yet because you're learning the course in stages. And this is why the due date is way into August, so that by that time you would have understood the content. And this is even why I'm giving you the various pop quiz or in-class activities so that you digest the information in a way that you understand it. So if there's something that you don't understand, at least the next person understands it and can explain it and help you to develop your own understanding. All right. I think that's it for the coursework. Do we try again for the somebody's trying to get into the WhatsApp group. I'm not all the coursework activities. I'm speaking about them now. Anybody who's joining the class for the first time, please go and watch the recordings that are on. Let me just share my.
Sir, after I register for Turnitin, what do I do?
Did you see the link that I posted in the? Right.
Yes, I registered, sir.
And I'm saying, did you follow all the stages that I?
Yes, I did.
All right, hold on, let me check because I can know if you have done it or not. Turnitin actually tells me that. What's the name?
Sims Lulin.
Yes,
Luelyn.
Yeah. All right. So what really happened? How we use Turnitin now is that because this one is a group assignment, you have to decide among yourselves. Only one person in the group must upload the assignment, because if all of you upload it, then it's going to flag it as plagiarism. So you have to decide as a group who in the group will upload this assignment. The person does not need to put the names on the assignment, only the ID numbers. So ensure there's a cover page so that when I'm grading, I enter in the grades, I know exactly, because I always say to students, you don't need to put your names on your assignments, just put your ID numbers. Some students accuse lecturers of favoritism, and which absolute madness. But so I always say to students, put your ID numbers. So only one person. So this is why you have until tomorrow to upload, so that you can, outside of class, you can decide or and discuss who will do the uploading. All right. So far, let me just see the persons who are in the class. I have Tosso Saint, Camila, Dion, I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, Fabian, Norda, Llewellyn, and Alicia. So the other persons, while we are doing what we're doing, just try and get in. And remember, everybody must join the class. Yes.
Excuse me, I just joined the class. I see you sent something in the group about Turnitin.
And you mentioned something a while ago about a link. I'm not seeing a link in the chat because I just joined and I have not registered.
All right, but you're going to have to wait because I can't spend the entire time. This is about the third time I'm repeating what I said about it. So I'll share the link again about registering, but we'll get to it at the end of the class because I need to get to the lecture. All right.
Narda already, she's in. She's
Tamaya?
the word.
Tamaya?
Yes, sir. Oh, all right.
You know you cannot be cross-talking while I'm lecturing, right?
Sir, you weren't lecturing. I was just telling my classmate that it is okay.
Miss Tucker, you cannot interrupt. I'm sure you notice that if I am the lecturer and I'm in the class and I'm talking and I'm actually having a conversation, you cannot be at the end of the day giving information. You could have sent her a WhatsApp message and just give her the information, but not while I am talking. Please. All right, so let's get into the lecture today. Not very difficult, and you started some of it last class in terms of segmentation. I kind of introduced you to the topic by way of an advertisement, and I asked you to speak to who you think the lecture it is for and why it is for that particular group. So let me share a screen. All right, please remember, as I said before, all the lectures are on Moodle, and make sure to check. There are more than one books. You have several resources for the respective sections that we look at for you to kind of go through. For the persons who are joining the class or person, please ensure you watch the recordings. All right, and you'll be brought up to speed. We already did a pop quiz. I will not be giving another pop quiz. All right, we have 2 more to do, and then the group assignment, and that's it. We will definitely do revision in the last week before you go into the exam. The graded classwork you did is actually a past paper. So those 4 questions are actually past paper questions. So it was a kind of introduction to that. After you have uploaded your papers and I've graded, then we're going to have a discussion. Then we go through those papers to ensure that everybody is on the same page in terms of your interpretation of the questions. So what are the objectives of this lecture? 1, to define the major steps in designing a customer-driven marketing strategy. That is market segmentation, targeting, differentiation, and positioning. 2, to list and discuss the major bases for segmenting consumer and business markets. 3, explain how companies identify attractive market segments and choose a market targeting strategy. And finally, discuss how companies differentiate and position their products for maximum competitive advantage. And most of this is also in the assignment, in the graded group assignment, where you're trying to understand the decisions that are made by a particular company and or brand. Let me ask you this. If you were to sell, let's say that you're going to sell a new hairline, like it's a new hairline that that helps people who have problems with their scalp and probably the hair is very thick. Who would you sell to and why? Who would be these persons you would be selling to and why?
Sir, go again. Persons who lost their hairline, whose hair is thick.
So I'm saying, let us say that there's a new hairline, and the hairline, not the hairline, the hair product. Sorry, I don't know why. I'm supposed to travel. I suppose that's why I'm saying hairline. It's a new hair line of product. That's what I mean, and it's for persons who might have problems with their scalp or problems with their hair being too thick. I'm saying, who exactly, how would you go about selling these people? How would you go about identifying them, and how would you go about reaching them?
At hair salons?
So 1, you probably would be visiting. So are you physically going to the hair salons, or is it that you're physically going to the hair salons?
No, you target the persons, the hairdresser themselves, because they would know how to treat the customers that come in. Because persons who with certain hair is the hairdresser that normally treat the hair is the person who them rely on to give them the information on how to deal with them hair.
Okay. All right. So one, we would target hairdressers, and you rightly said that the hairdressers would actually probably be better able to identify, you know, what is wrong with somebody's hair and then make the recommended treatment, right? So we probably without even use the hairdressers as influencers, convincing the consumer or the potential customer to buy the product. All right. So we have, so hair salons, where else would we try to reach these customers?
Doctors, sir, those that specialize in skin, hair loss, stuff like that.
Yes. So
Because
so we
you
can say,
could-
we could say doctors or medical centers.
right, clinics,
Specialists.
what they call it.
Right,
So,
like specialists too.
so even leave samples with them.
Right.
So
Yes, so you'd leave like samples with them. Right. Yes, I like
and
that.
maybe brochures to talk about exactly what it targets, what it does.
Right. So the brochures will have the benefits or the features.
Right, of what the products offer and is.
Right. Yes.
Right.
I
So
like
you could
that.
do that. Right. So you don't have to be physically there.
Right. You don't have to physically be there at all times.
Right.
All right. Where else are we going?
But sorry, you have the social media advertise the product.
Right. Oh yes, as I said, social media. Right. A company has reached out to me direct, well, to Excelsior. Apparently they see that we're doing so well on social media. They don't want anybody's very good at social media. Oh, but you guys are working already. You don't want any work. They want a social media / digital media coordinator. So they asked me to find somebody among the students. Anybody has, well, you guys are working, so I guess you don't want to leave what you're doing. But if you know anybody who is very good, and they would have to prove that they know what they're doing, because I don't want to make any recommendation and it's not good, and them say, okay, we're not about to go back to Excel, so we know how for them students. Yes. So they reached out to me. The lady called me like just a few minutes before I started the class, wanting somebody. So if you know anybody who's good at digital media, digital marketing, or social media marketing, that would help. Yeah. So you are actually correct in terms of where you're going and in terms of where you'd identify some of these customers. So segmentation really is where you divide the total marketplace into smaller segments. And I think I've said this before, and that if you have 20 segments, it doesn't mean that you're going to go after the 20 segments. You go after the segments that can give you the most profit, or the segments that you can build the most profitable relationships with. Let me just look in the chat. I'm seeing something there. All right. Oh yeah, some persons were actually, sometimes I'm not, some persons were actually contributing via the chat. Thanks for that. Also to the whole notion of designing a customer-driven marketing strategy is that you have to know, so after you segment the market, so it may, when you say segment, all right, let's just use the hair line of products. How are we segmenting the market? Or how do you think we need to segment the market or divide the market into smaller groups? What are these smaller groups? How does a smaller group look? Who makes up the smaller groups?
The persons who having the ear loss issue.
All right, so one segment could be persons who are having hair loss issues. That's one segment.
Who have thick ear issues who might want
all
to
right,
get
so
it, yeah.
right, so for persons who have thick hair, yes. Any other segment?
Sir, those who have a skin problem, because the hair grows from the root. So if someone have a skin disease or allergies or so, it depends on the product.
So we are talking about persons who have a skin problem. That's 3 segments, yes. We could probably target persons who are into beauty too. Persons who are into beauty. And to be honest, is when I say beauty, you know, we normally associate beauty with women. For men, it's not beauty, but we are conscious too of our hair to some extent. So we have 4 segments. Does it mean that we're going to go after the 4 segments? Not necessarily. We might say, okay, we have 4 segments, but we think 2 of those segments are better in terms of building profitable relationships. And this is where now targeting comes in. So you select the segment or segments to enter, where you can create value for the target customers. Then once you have segments, you have the segments and you determine the which ones you're going to target. You also need to what is called differentiate, or the value proposition. How do you set yourself apart from your competitors? What is it that you're going to say to the customer that is going to convince or persuade him or her to make a purchase of your product versus that of another person? So differentiate the market offering to create superior customer value. It could be that, for example, you might want in your advertisements, it could be that you have doctors, healthcare, let me not say doctors, but healthcare professionals endorsing the product. It could be that you have testimonials, persons who have actually used the products. It could be that when it comes on the whole notion of ethical marketing, that you have something that says, something that gives it the stamp of approval to say that the product uses natural ingredients, and that makes it have superior results. So those are the things probably you can use to kind of differentiate yourself in the marketplace versus your competitors. One of the things that I do as a marketing professional is I always pay attention to my competitors. For example, now is the time that we are recruiting, we are marketing, we are communicating, we're promoting. What I do, I sign up to go to UE, I sign up to go to UCC, I sign up to go to all the other schools. And I look at how they treat me as a customer, and I look at their enrollment process. I look at the letter, what the letter says to me, and what's the next point of contact, how they engage me as a potential customer. And then I say to my staff and I say to the college, okay, this is what UCC is doing. This is what UE is doing. Let us see how we can do that better. The problem I think we have, and I can say this to you as students, is that once the student leaves the touch point of marketing and enrollment and goes to the lecturer, to the teacher, and to interface with other, let's call it other creatures, well, let me not use the word creatures, or other intermediaries or other parts of the college, oftentimes that's where they start complaining. So they can't get their timetable on time. It could be that lecturers are not turning up to their classes on time. It could be that they don't have enough information. They feel that they don't have enough support. It could be that they don't understand APA. It could be that they're not getting the information from the college, or they're just sending them email.
Grades are not published on time.
Grades are not published on time. So the customer know. So in other words, the customer is not satisfied. So yes, you get the customer, and I, as I said, as a professional, even today we had a meeting. I constantly say to my superiors that the customer has to be satisfied. It can't be that marketing does what it's supposed to do, enrollment does what it's supposed to do, recruitment does what it's supposed to do, but when the student starts interacting with the lecturers or interacting with other people, that's where they're having a challenge. Then the customer is not satisfied. And we know that this is not unique to us. This is not unique to any other school. As lecturers, we are human beings. Like yesterday, I reached out to some students I taught, and I was saying to them, the school said to me, Mr. Clark, grade is outstanding for these students. 2 students didn't submit their final assignment, which is 50%. Course is a fully coursework course, 50%. These are final students. These students are in 4th year. They're going out. And I said in the WhatsApp group, okay, students, 2 of you have not submitted your assignments. I have to submit the assignments, but I'm giving you until noon, which is today. And 2 girls start, it's like as if they wanted to start an argument in the WhatsApp group about this and that. And I said to myself, you know what, before I feel the spirit, I just came out of the WhatsApp group, because I am saying the assignment was due long before, like a month before, because we're now in summer. And I gave them the opportunity to submit, because if they don't submit, you're more than likely they're going to fail the course because they're not going to get 50% on the other coursework. So more than likely they're going to fail. And I'm giving them an opportunity to actually submit, and it became an argument. And I just said, you know what? I just came out of the WhatsApp group because at the end of the day, sometimes students don't understand that respect goes both ways. It goes both ways. And I was just trying to help them as customers, knowing that I was a student and I understand the difficulty of being a student, especially when you're a mother, a wife, or a husband, and you're working and you have so many things on the stove and you're trying to balance everything, and it's very difficult. So I was just trying to help them. So I know that as a marketer that you students as customers, sometimes you're not pleased. I know that, and sometimes you're not even pleased with me because I might not see it as a lecturer. Sometimes you don't see it. What I always say to my students is, if it is that you feel that I genuinely offended you, I never ever come to my lectures to do that. But just say to me, probably by a WhatsApp message or whatever, sir, I never took kindly to the comment or whatever. And I have apologized to students who say that I've offended them, and if I think that I have, versus when I've actually spoken in a very stern way about something that I think the student should have, addressed. For example, students beat their children about not doing assignments, but they don't do assignments, and they want you to give them extension. But if the son or daughter doesn't do the assignment, they murder them. So I understand that, and this is what I'm saying, that as a marketer, as a marketer or as potential marketing officers, you have to understand the full journey of creating this whole notion of a customer driven approach to marketing. The other thing now, at least the final thing you really do when you're actually going to produce an ad, whether it be audiovisual, whether it be print or digital, is how you're going to position it in the minds of the target customers. How are you going to position it in the minds of the target customers? And that's what really what a brand is. A brand is really what customers say about it when they're not in the room. So if, let us say that I own Nike, what do customers say about Nike when Nike is not around? What are they saying to their friends or their family or to people generally? That is really what brand is. When you think of, let me ask you this, when you think of Yui, what do you think, what comes to mind? If you were to use 3 words, when you think of Yui, what comes to mind?
Overrated.
Okay, overrated. Anybody else? Hello, talk to me, guys.
First class education.
First class education. Yes.
Expensive.
So what you say when we think of what?
Yui, what comes to mind?
Tradition.
You think of tradition, all right. When you think of KFC, what comes to mind?
Jamaicans.
Jamaicans.
Well known, popular.
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 Yes. When you think of Grace, what comes to mind?
Jamaica.
One of the best food brands.
Conglomerate.
All right, one of the best food. Is it one of the best or the best food brands?
One of the best.
One off.
One of. All right. Give me another brand that you think is in comparison to Grace. Another food brand. Lasco. All right. All right. And these are actual things. These are companies that you can do for the group assignment, Grace, Lasco, because there's a lot of literature on them. All right. So that's what positioning really is. That's really what it means. What do you want your customers to think when they see your product and or service? What do you want them to think? When you think of Excelsior Community College, what comes to mind? You can be honest.
Bad communication.
Bad communication.
A lot of delays.
Delays.
Party shop.
Patty shop, yes.
Teachers don't talk to us with respect.
Teachers don't talk to you with respect. I hope it's not me talking. All right. So those are the things, and usually, and as I said to you before, and this is something that we're actually going to try to do, is do what is called a brand equity research, where a brand or a proprietor is really the owner of a brand. Do you know that actually Quartz is a trademark? I'm not sure if you guys know that. Anybody knows who's the proprietor for Quartz?
Yes. What's that little fancy name again?
Like I think a unicorn, something like that.
Yeah, that's
Unicomer,
the
not
Unicomer. Unicomer.
Not unicorn, Unicomer. Right.
Unicomer. Yeah, that little
Right.
thing.
Right. So you do research, and this is we were talking about marketing research. You do research to understand what customers think about your brand, and then you try to position or reposition your place, reposition the brand in the marketplace. So segmentation really means grouping buyers based on needs, traits, or behaviors that might require separate marketing strategies or mixes. Let me ask, and I'm picking on you, Fabian. Can you tell me some of the things that you buy regularly? What are some of the things that you can share, of course? What are some of the things that you buy regularly?
Rice, flour, tin foods, water, drinks, product.
What about shoes and clothes?
To an extent, I don't really buy that much.
All right, let me ask another question. When you're going to buy rice or flour or sugar, these are basic food items. Is there a specific brand you think of, or do you go to a specific location? What are some of the factors that impact or influence your purchasing behavior?
Let me see. A female kind of do the what I notice is that they go for a special.
No. Don't talk for females, no. You never ask about no females, no. That's why I ask you specifically, I ask you about your shopping behavior.
It's shoes.
All right, and you tell me say rice and flour, no, All right.
We'll go to shoes.
All right, shoes.
Definitely for me, I like a specific brand. Shoes.
Which brand is that?
All right, I like the Calvin Klein brand.
Why do you like Calvin Klein?
It is for me, it is durable, long lasting, and presentable, and it just give that gentleman's beat there,
Is it affordable, or is it considered a luxury good in your regard?
It would be more over a luxury, a little bit on the luxury side.
Right, but you're willing to spend that money.
Definitely.
Right, and the reason I asked Fabian is because he's the only male student. I don't know that I have any other. Is there any other male student? If there is, he has never spoken. All right. Let me ask, in terms of the females now, Vanessa, what do you buy very often? You buy clothes. Anything else other than clothes? Food. Do you go to a specific location, or do you think about any specific brand when you're buying your food?
No, not really. But well, for the location, yes, I have a specific location because I would normally go to the wholesale, that is cheaper, and yeah. And in terms of eating food, stuff, normally buy, let's say, mackerel and a product by the one like Grace. Yes, Grace. Because to me, it tastes better. You can ketchup in Grace.
All right. Thank you very much. Just mute your mic for me. Tamaya, what do you buy regularly? Like whether it be food or otherwise, and what impacts or influences your decision making in terms of your purchasing behavior?
What do I buy regularly?
And what influences your purchasing behavior? What are some of the considerations that influence your purchasing
I
behaviors?
buy almond milk a lot because I have sinusitis disease, I've been told. So I can't consume dairy. So that is what influenced the money. It is a bit expensive, so I don't really have it like that to buy it, but because of my condition, I buy it health-wise.
All right. Yeah, and in terms for my own, if anybody else wants to share before I share my own, let me call another name. I'm trying to call the names that I just randomly. I don't know if I've ever heard from Francine. Have you ever? I'm not sure if I've ever heard from Francine. Are you there, Francine?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. In terms of what do you regularly buy and what influences your purchasing behavior?
All right, so I buy sanitary napkins, stay free, very regular. Seeing that I'm a female, you use that very often every month.
Is there a brand? So Stay Free
Yes,
is the
sir,
brand.
always.
Stay Free is the brand, right?
No man, you have stay free brand, yes, but you have always. I
So
buy
which
always.
you buy always without if you are able to euphemize, why do you prefer that brand over other brands?
All right, cause it more comfortable. It suits my period menstruation cycle, as in how heavy you flow, how you manage during that time, the comfort that it gives you, you understand, and um how it fits in your underwear and stuff like that. So I think about that. The price is the price is it is a bit more expensive than other brands, but
But you're willing.
but I'm willing to buy it because of the comfort and stuff. Because I tried other brand like Curves and other brand, and it sometimes they tend to give you an yeast infection because of the cotton, and some of them just so
Right.
I choose always because that agree with me. So you have to think about where you have to think about the brand, you have to think about the cost, you have to think about the comfort. So when I buy that, I think about
Yeah, and I'm happy. I'm hearing from so many people who are saying that it's not just the price that affects their purchasing decision, but the actual value that is added. The value is whether or not you're comfortable or you're uncomfortable. Does it last longer or not? Does it give you the look that you want? So for example, I used to, like back in the day, I would buy cheap shoes. I like buying shoes for $3,000, $4,000, like wear to work. And then like 3 months, the shoes, the heel rub off, or I used to like, and I'm saying, I'm not going to buy shoes for no shoes over $5,000. And then I kind of changed my view. I'm like, it's ridiculous because if I'm going to buy a shoes for $3,000 or $4,000 every 3 months, might as well I buy a good one that can last for a year. And I just shifted my purchasing behavior, started buying shoes that are a little bit more expensive but long lasting, and I am willing to make that sacrifice. And there are times too when I'm willing to make the sacrifice of just living a comfortable life because I came from dirt poverty. I just say, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy like 3 shoes one time or buy some very expensive stuff, because you're going to find too that part of how you segment is based on lifestyle, and we're going to get into some of that discussion. So market segmentation is now where you're grouping buyers based on needs, traits, or behaviors that require separate marketing strategies or mixes. So it could be that you're selling the same product. You're selling one product, but you're selling it to different markets, and how you actually segment the market and position the product for each segment is different. So bases for segmentation: psychographics, behavioral, demographics, and geographics. So geographic segmentation, you're talking about international brands, so they go global reach. Yes, yes.
Could you just go back, please, to the slide you just did? Let me. Right. Thank you.
All right. And she normally copies and shares in the WhatsApp group, right? No, man, I have no problem. I know the hustle, you know. I know the hustle. All right, so for geographic segmentation, we are talking especially about global brands, where they have to be very mindful of the cultural specificity of countries. Sometimes in a specific country too, there are geographic segmentation, again, has to be taken into consideration, because it could be that persons, like in America, you know, like you have the North, you have the South, and how sometimes how the North lives, persons living in the North, how they live their lives is very different from those who live in the South. So global regions, you're talking about countries. You can talk about the region of a country. You're talking about provinces. That's what Canada has. You're talking about cities. Sometimes the cities are different in terms of their composition and where they're located, and also neighborhoods, depending. I know that one segment, one way of how they segment people in Canada is by your, oh Lord, what we call it in Jamaica again? Jamaica, I can't remember. 876, what we call area code, sorry, yeah. And your area code in Jamaica, you know, in Jamaica with area code, we can make up anything, right? In other parts, and I keep referring to Canada, that's where I work. You have to, when you go, for example, to the bank and they ask you about your actual address, you can't make up an address, because you're going to put it in the system and you're going to tell you, Google is going to tell you whether or not that's an actual location. For marketing companies now that actually do work on behalf of brands, they actually target neighborhoods, cities based on that. All right. In terms of demographic segmentation, now you're talking about age, you're talking about income, you're talking about ethnicity, you're talking about cultural groups. And Jamaica, there are different age demographics in Jamaica. In Jamaica, you have household income, and this is something that you can get from starting to see what's the level of income per capita or per household, especially since you have far more women now involved in professional life. They're described as the belly of the economy. There was some concern the other day about women not reproducing, and people were kind of having a big tracing match on Facebook about women getting pregnant or not getting pregnant, and why the woman need to go breed, and a lot of discussion. And what some people didn't realize is that when women become more professional, they make more informed decisions about family life. Sometimes they delay it, sometimes they don't want to get married, sometimes they want to only have a child, probably two. So there are different things that affect that. And therefore, as a marketer now, how do you reach these women who, for example, have more income and want to enjoy life, versus a household that is married with children or child, versus a household they're just married but they don't want any children. In a multicultural society like America, like Canada, like parts of Europe, again, no. And if you look at this image, it is very multicultural. You're seeing somebody who's Black, you're seeing an Asian, you're seeing Caucasian, you're seeing people who look kind of very Middle Eastern. You have to be very conscious and careful of these cultural groups. And this is where marketing research comes in, because when you carry out the marketing research, the research will indicate to you how you should position the brand. For example, if you're Muslims, as opposed to if they're Asians, as opposed to if they're Caribbean people, as opposed to if they're African Americans, as opposed to if they're Black Americans. The various groupings of how you segment the demographic is very, very important. And again, it usually has to be informed by data. So they're talking about unserved segments might be opportunities. There are times when there's a segment in the marketplace that exist that are not being served by others. And that's where you just kind of push in yourself. You say, okay, these people have a problem and I want to solve the problem in a profitable way. All right, making sense, people? Just tell me if you're understanding. Everybody understanding? Hello?
So far.
So far.
All right, so psychographic segmentation now. And this now is where Fabian comes into play when he talks about, you know, it give him that look. So it's kind of the social class or the lifestyle or the personality characteristics. Some people only wear certain brands because of their quote unquote status or because of their what they want people to think of them. So there are some persons will only wear Timberland. I actually don't like the brand. People, I know that when I was in high school, JanSport was a big thing. If you don't have on a JanSport bag, it's as if you do have a bag, even if nothing is in your head. You know, you might have the JanSport, you might have the books inside, but nothing is in the book. And it was a big thing for us when I was in high school. I don't know that that's what prevails. No, well, you'll agree with me that class or social status in Jamaica is very important, right, people? So we're not a racist society, but we're a classist society. We're very classist. I don't know if that has been your experience.
Aye, aye, aye.
I don't know if I've shared this with the class. Some time ago, I went to a supermarket and I bought a number of items and the security guard was walking up and down. And when I was going through the door, they're asking me about receipt and all kind of madness. And I just said, you know, just take your stuff and just tell him to put back the money on my card, because clearly I was profiled and I was deeply offended, especially since I was shopping at that place for a period of time. I was so deeply offended that I said, you know what? I have been profiled and therefore you're not going to get my money. So class is important in Jamaica. Even the very man that pushes the hand cart has one of the latest phones. And you know, Jamaicans go to length and breadth to get the latest phones. They want to change your phones like every month or every other month. They have relatives overseas that bother them about the latest tablet or the latest phone or the latest this, the latest that. Once they see it in the music videos, everybody wants to kind of replicate it in their daily lives. And oftentimes it's the persons who can't afford it are the ones who are trying to show off wealth. They put up statuses a lot of money, but at the end of the day, them still have a big money for buy a spliff, things like that. So psychographic segmentation, to me, is actually even more important than demographic, because you're getting at how people think of themselves and how they want to be perceived, how they want others to see them. So if we see a man with a certain kind of car or a woman with a certain kind of car, we assume that, oh yes, are rich people that, or even if they have a certain color, things like that. Behavioral. So this is where now there are various considerations in terms of behavioral. So as it says, loyalty status. There are some people who are very loyal to certain brands. I don't know is there anybody who's very loyal to any specific brand? And if that brand does not have it, they're not going to buy the product until the brand produces it. Is there anybody who's like that? Hello?
Fit Me Foundation.
What do they sell? Or what service they
Foundation,
offer?
makeup.
The mount. Oh, oh Lord, I didn't realize. Sorry.
Foundation,
Yeah,
yeah.
foundation meaning makeup, right.
Yeah, so Fit Me is my brand because it is very good and it's very affordable. So the fact that it's a cheap brand, but they really put effort
Don't use
into.
the word cheap. Say affordable.
Okay.
Say
affordable brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's very affordable. But they really go out of their way to go back to the drawing board at all times to develop a better and better product. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I think Apple does the same thing too. I think Apple is always like trying to outdo they're trying to outdo themselves every time they put something out that is new. I wasn't into MacBook or anything, but the moment my boss bought me a MacBook and said, Robin, use this. This is what you're going to do for work, use for work. And it took me a long time to kind of get around, you know, to using it because I'm not used to Apple. And once I got a sense of how to use it, it was like, wow, I fell in love. And they're constantly updating, you know, the things, the features that are there. It is very long lasting. It doesn't give a lot of problems. The other laptops that I've had to, about 2 of them I've given away. So I'm very loyal now to Apple to some extent. I don't want any Apple, no iPhone though, because they're too expensive and I always keep losing them. Anybody else who's loyal to any brand and you say you're not going to buy the product or use the service, purchase the service unless it is this brand. Fabian, not you and Desert Clocks? Not loyal to Desert Clocks like some of us?
No, sir.
Well, I know Cartel is very, very loyal to Desert Clocks.
They want to sign me. Become one of them brand ambassador first.
Oh, you're not going to buy it. You think it's unreasonably expensive? And you find too that one of the things that, yes, thanks. One of the things that you see happening now, brands, especially Nike, do you realize that they're kind of aligning themselves with blacks? Especially in America, in terms of supporting the Black Lives Matter movement and these other, what I call racial justice movements.
Because they are one who buy them more.
Exactly. So it makes sense. And this is actually behavioral segmentation. You know, they align themselves to these kinds of movements because they know that Black people, for the most part, love Nike. And we're into buying brand stuff. You know, sometimes, especially Asians are not necessarily into brand. And it might be a sweeping generalization. I've never met an Asian who's like, I must get my Nike or I must get this. They'll just wear shoes, a pair of shoes. They're like, okay, I'm just wearing a pair of shoes. I've never come across any that, you know, go out of their way to buy any specific brand of shoes or any specific brand of clothes. They just buy clothes or buy shoes. I could be wrong, but that has been my experience so far.
Yeah, but you have to have a Clarks in a collection, you know that.
You have to have a Clarks in the collection?
Definitely.
Well, I used to my mother lives in England, so I get Clarks a lot, but I'm actually not a big fan of Clarks. I like what's the one that where I normally go? I go to Zara. Zara is one of my favorite brands, Canadian brands. What's the other one again?
Everything you talk about Canada like an able drink up there.
That's where I live. That's where I live. But we remember Jamaica doesn't have any brand in terms of like shoes. We don't really have any. I can't think of a Jamaican.
We have sandals, we have slippers, we have Bridget's.
Yes. We have the Bridget's. Yes, and years ago when I was teaching at U, my students did a project. I have a group of students who did a project on Bridget sandals, and it was actually phenomenal work that was done. And they're really doing exceptionally well. I think they're unnecessarily expensive. I don't wear those things, so I'm not going to buy it. And I'm not going to buy a Clarks for no 18,000 either. My mother usually buys it because I'm willing to spend
you really don't wear Clarks, because Clarks are not for 15,000.
How much feet now?
You have to have like 18 or almost 20,000 to buy one Clarks.
Then I get my money. No, I bought shoes for 20,000. I bought shoes, but I'm not going to buy a Clarks for that because Clarks is just not my look. When I think about myself going like I have 2 funerals to go to, I'm not going to buy a Clarks to go there. I am going to buy a different. My look is different, and then I don't want to look like as I've always said to, even though I grew up in Tivoli, Midtown Tivoli, I've always said to when I'm going out, under no circumstance should I look like a criminal because I'm not a criminal, and I don't want to look like a gangster and a thug or a bad boy. That's not my thing. So I usually buy things that are more, on the non-gangster side. All right, so multiple segmentation again, and you find that especially in what I would call more developed countries where they're appealing to different groups at the same time. So, I was actually going to say TD Bank. Yes, so TD Bank targets, they target immigrants, especially immigrants, new immigrants. Once you become one of their customers, and I must say they offer very good customer service, they kind of they try to help you along the way. You know, banking in Jamaica is very frustrating, and you have to go into the bank for almost every god almighty thing. You go into the bank for in Jamaica. Elsewhere, I don't go anywhere. Even in Jamaica, I'm Jamaican. I use my TD. I just go into the app and I do everything that I want to do. Every single thing. In Jamaica, certain things they are telling you you must come into the brand. I'm like, ridiculous. But in terms of multiple segmentation, if you look at this particular ad, who are they? You see that, well, in this case, they're not only appealing to immigrants, but they're also appealing to the LGBT community in this instance. And of course, this is for more a Canadian kind of demographic. In Jamaica, of course, the banks in Jamaica. Who do you think the banks in Jamaica target? Who do they target in Jamaica? The banks. What are some of the segments they target?
Small business owners.
Small business owners, yes.
Mothers or parents that have young children. They have some plans for them for further education when they reach of age. They also target pensioners. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, I think Fabian, you're about to say something too.
Workers, you know.
The target public sector workers.
Yes.
Fabian, you're about to say something? No? Okay. And what I want you to be conscious of now is when you're watching advertisements, just when you're watching it, just think of who's the segment, who are they targeting, how are they targeting this person, and what do they want you to think or believe they are offering you, the value they're adding to you as a customer. So you have been segmented. All right. So take a moment and observe your classmates. List demographic characteristics which are observable. Next, using your personality and that of oh yes, I remember this years ago when I was a student. We did this. This was actually a fun little activity. But before, we have a few minutes. Before I get to this, can we try again for the Turnitin? Let's just, so I have, let me show you who is in the class so far. The persons who are having a challenge, what I normally ask is for your classmates to help you. Sometimes it's best if they help you instead of me, because they probably can say to you or explain it to you a little bit better. So I'm seeing Tiandra, Fransom, Camelia, Dion, Juanita, Fabian, Norda, Llewellyn, and Alicia Richards. Means that there are others who are not in the not a part.
Click on the link. And when I click on the link, my computer screen go black. Me basically I hear what you send on the class, but me not see nothing. Me can't do nothing.
Oh, your computer is black. Is dark.
Black. Go black screen black when me click on the link.
All right,
so
just log out and log in back because I was having
log out or me can't see nothing to do anything at all. I had to do a battery pull, fix up at the laptop and start, update and restart, and also comes me log on back to class.
Which brand of computer are you using? Probably
HP.
need to change. Lord Jesus, change the brand.
Look here, sir. Now because you use the Apple MacBook, yeah, come style. Me think it a camera. Right
No. I was actually pushing you in the direction of thinking about the brand and whether or not you are satisfied.
Me in the direction, sir, when me pocket every day way there.
All right, I'm going to help you in terms of adding you to the class. All right, so the other persons know, can you try and get in? Can one person?
You have to resend the link.
I think I did send the link. The link is just the video, you know. The link is not for the turn it in. The link is just for the video. And I did send it. Do you want me to send it again in the chat? But I think I did. I sent it again. I sent it again at 5:31. So let me
the normal way we go on
that time.
All right, so hold on. Let me. I know. I'm going to send it again. The link. All right. So can one person who is in the Tiandra, are you able to explain, just walk everybody through how you got in? I don't know if you want to do that. So just listen to Tiandra and she will tell you how to kind of work it out to add yourself. Tiandra, are you there? No. Alicia, there. Miss Richards, can you explain? Can you help your classmates? Oh no, she actually, her mic is not working. I think she had said that. Yes, her mic isn't working. Yes, and she's the new student. Alicia, are you there? Can help us? Can help the students, your classmates, to add themselves to the.
I'm here, sir. Let me try and explain.
Go ahead.
I went on Google and I typed in www.turnitin.com. And then I get the website, click on the website, and the blue platform came up. And then I went to create account and put in my credentials, and that was it.
All right. Camila, you're part of the, yes, Camila, help
Yes,
us to, all right, so walk us through, so thanks for that, Miss Richards. Camila is going to also explain too. Go ahead, Camila.
All right, you just type in turnitin.com, and once the page is uploaded, you look, when it comes up, you look to the right, you see create account. Once you click on that, blue screen with blue comes up with information. You're just going to input the information that you have, follow the instructions, basically your first name, your last name, you put in your email address, and you put in the information that was sent to the WhatsApp group. And from there, you just submit, go down to the bottom and just click accept, and that will be it.
All right.
Camelia, me click on the something where say create account. Where else I say if you do, you must start with little comma list. Yeah, move too fast.
Yes, so when you click on when you click on create account and the screen come up, all right, you're gonna see where you're supposed to submit some information. I know that one of the information is supposed to be your first, your last name.
Remember, so she's supposed to select student.
Yes, and you're supposed to select student.
Then she put in the information.
Yes. I forgot that part, yeah.
And you can also, you don't even have to listen, you can just watch the video that I'm showing that actually walks you through.
It's showing step how to go through. That's what I did when I came into the class late, and sir said to follow the link and he sent it, and that's all I did, and then just went on it. Sir.
Yes.
All right. So I went to the class portfolio and
no, don't upload yet. Yeah, but what I want you to do before you upload, just decide among.
I just wanted to verify that I've reached where I need to reach, because all the time from I started the school, if this is what the Turnitin look like, that means I never done none yet.
No man, the thing is they have one on Moodle, but I don't use the one on
Yeah,
Moodle.
that never worked for me yet. That never worked for me yet. I've never done a Turnitin from I've been to this school.
Thank God you have met Mr.
That's
Clark.
never worked for me. Huh?
I'm okay. So what I'm saying now, so before you upload the assignment, ensure that you, the persons you work with, they have decided that you are the one uploading it for the group. Because I don't want two persons in the same group uploading the same assignment. It's going to flag it. All right. So when this video finishes, I'm going to show you another video that shows you how to upload an assignment. Remember you don't have to put your names.
That's what I was asking, because I figured that part out when I went on the class portfolio.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So, and what I don't want, as I said before, is one person, two persons from the same group uploading, and you don't have to put your names. You can just put your ID numbers on the assignment. All right. So let's now look at how to upload an assignment to Turnitin.
Let me come back on.
So I'm going to share the, why are they giving me this long? Right, I don't need that long video. So I'm going to share screen. Just turn up the volume. Skip.
This training video will take a student through submitting a paper to an assignment that has been set up by their instructor. First, you want to go to your My Classes page.
Sir, my page
You'll
gone.
click on the class name.
Say that again.
The video just went dark on me.
It could be your, is it dark for everybody else?
Just give me a few minutes, let me log out and log back in, because I realize.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to also share the link in the, let me share it in the WhatsApp group as well.
Yes.
And in the chat. And in the chat as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to share it in the WhatsApp group as well as in the chat. Okay. And remember, people, for the recordings, even if you don't see I send you a notification, I have uploaded it to Turnitin. I make sure to do that religiously so that you're able to for the persons who are new or so forth, you can catch up.
Sir.
Yes.
Quick question. The Turnitin that you're teaching us to do is only for, like, if our lecturers want us to submit for something for school?
Right.
Okay, so it's not for exam.
No, this is not for exam, but it's the same process.
Okay.
It's the same process of like, and this is partly why I'm deliberately, because one of the concerns that was voiced by students is that they are being introduced to Turnitin at the exam stage, which is not fair, and I agree with them. So I always introduce Turnitin to my students from the very beginning, so it becomes a natural part of classes. So my students who I've taught come 1 and come 2, if I say Turnitin, I just mention the word and everybody knows what I mean, and they know how to upload their assignments, and they just say, sir, just remember to create the assignment so that we can upload. That's how much they understand the process, and they know how to interpret Turnitin. They know if, in terms of the similarity index, they know all of that. And that is something that I'm going to teach you over time. But I'm just waiting for persons to upload their assignments. Now let me look at it, and then I'll point out if there are areas of concern, we can address them. Okay?
Sir,
I would like that very much, sir.
For the exam, because as I was saying, I always had trouble as it relates to the link that they send to us to use. So it would be nice if you could show me how to upload it and do it from the exam viewpoint, please.
All right, so I'll do that closer to the exam. All right?
Thank you, sir.
As part of the revision.
Okay, sir.
All right, cool. So I'm going to, this video is now about submitting an assignment to Turnitin.
This training video will take a student through submitting a paper to an assignment that has been set up by their instructor. First, you want to go to your My Classes page. You'll click on the class name that you want to have the paper submitted to. You'll find your assignment there set up by your instructor. Click on the Submit icon. That will take you to the page where you'll be able to submit your paper. Your first and last name will automatically update into the system. You'll be able to put the title of your paper into the box, and then go down and click on Browse, find the file on your computer, and we're basically taking Microsoft Word files, text files, RTF files, PDF files, and the other files that we select. They're already here listed, and then click on Upload. That will then check your paper to make sure it's compatible with the system. You're then going to be taken to a preview page. This is where you'll see the text from the file that you're uploading. You want to check to make sure that all the file is there. When you are satisfied that that's the file you want to upload, click on Submit. That will then send the file to the system. Once it's been successfully submitted, you will see the message saying your submission was successful. This is the digital receipt for your paper. You will see the paper ID number here. It's always a good idea to either print this page out or write down the paper ID number. That's your confirmation the paper was submitted. You will also see the text from your file. You can then go to the portfolio page, and that will take you back to your English class that you're in. You'll see the paper, and you'll actually click on the Show Details listing to actually see your paper's been submitted, and in this case, the originality report has already been completed.
All right, so it's not very difficult to submit. And many of the things that I'm showing you people, you can access it on your own. I just go into YouTube and just type in the how to submit, and I get them. Many of the questions, sometimes the questions that you have can be answered by other than myself. All right, so I've shared the link in the WhatsApp group, and I've shared it in the chat in terms of submission. What I recommend, somebody has a, go ahead, Norda.
I'm not seeing where I can upload, where I can browse to
You can,
upload the document. I'm only seeing right after cut and paste your paper that we go straight to upload. I'm not able to browse to attach it to upload it.
I'm not sure. So what I recommend you do, you don't need to do it right now. You have until tomorrow to upload. So just kind of play around with the features. Probably rewatch the recording or watch a longer video, and then you can do the upload. Don't try to do it right now.
I have experience in the same thing as well. Don't see where the browse.
Can you share your screen? Let me see what you're doing.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Good evening. So we're doing the Turnitin to get the report and then we send it to you, or we leaving it there?
No man, once you upload it, I will have access to it.
Oh, but post it over the amount. We can change and then resubmit.
This is why you're supposed to properly cite the information to begin with.
Okay, okay.
So that's why, this is why, and why I say this, and this is the responsibility of both the institution and students now. So you're supposed to do communication 1 and communication, well, not even communication, but communication 1, and the lecturer's responsibility is to ensure that he or she teaches you how to properly cite information. Don't upload anything yet. Let me just change one thing based on what you just said. You said, so let me edit the assignment just in case. Edit settings. There's something I was.
Sir,
yes?
you see me now?
Yeah, hold on. I'm saving something. You mean in the class?
Yes.
Remind me of the name?
Francine.
Yes, Walters, I'm seeing you. So I'm seeing Tiandra, Frankson. Frankson, you need to correct us. Yeah, Frankson. Camelia, Deon, Juanita, Fabian, Norda, Llewellyn, Estriana, Alicia, Francine, Latoya. Those persons are in the class. All right, so the person who was having a challenge in terms of...
So hear my name, Tiffany.
Tiffany, let me just double check, Tiffany. I am not seeing Tiffany.
Really?
No, I don't see Tiffany. I see Tiandra and I see Tossa Saint. Those are the two T's I'm seeing. I don't see
Tiffany
any other.
Henry?
No, I don't see Tiffany.
So
So it could be that you did something wrong. All right, just quickly, the person, Fabian, you want to share your screen? Let me see what you were doing. In terms of trying to submit the assignment. All right, you're supposed to click upload. So hold on. You need to give the submission a title. So you need to call it class. Go here, call it like classwork 1. Classwork 1. Right? Go down now. You see cut and paste. All right, go down. We take your, where is the, all right, come out of that. Let me see from the front part of your, go back to the, because I'm not sure. Go back to the assignment. All right, so where's the assignment? The assignment is, all right, so go to submit. Let me see what happens here. All right. Why am I seeing cut and paste? All right, let's go to, click on upload. Let me see what happens.
Why it's not going to upload? So I wonder if you have to cut and paste it first to check it.
No, you don't need to copy and paste. I don't know why you're seeing that on your end. I think, no man, you're not supposed to cut and paste. All right, stop sharing. So when you there was somebody who was having a challenge joining the class. Who was that person again? On Turnitin.
Sir, remember say the to me that tell us my computer blackout.
Did you join?
Yeah, I'm here, Francine.
No, and there's another person who couldn't. So everybody's on this. I was going to.
I think it was Tiffany. Tiffany,
Was it Tiffany who said that she wasn't there?
Yes, sir. I was. Yes,
All right.
and you said that you not see my name.
All right, so it's Tiffany, right?
No,
What's
sir.
your...
Tiffany.
Okay, Tiffany.
Ney.
What's your last name?
Henry.
Henry.
Yes.
What's your email address?
Tiffany.henry90@myecc.edu.
All right, so hold on. Tiffany. Tiffany. So it's Tiffany.henry.
Yes, sir. 90 at 90. One of them, sir. What a 90.
No, you can't tell me at one of them. You need to know because I'm adding you to the class.
Oh.
And you have to submit your assignment. That's what I'm doing. So you have to be certain of the information.
Sir, it is 90 at.
So go from the beginning for me.
Sir? I'm not telling you.
I'm saying go from the beginning. I'm adding you to the class. Are you seeing my screen? I'm adding you to the class.
Okay. It is Tiffany.henry90@myecc.edu.jm.
So at myecc.
Yes.
.edu.jm. So there's no, it's not at my.ecc.
Yes, there's a dot after my.
After? Yes, you have to give me correct information, Tiffany.
After that.
So it's at my dot?
So there's a dot. Yes, there's a dot after my. So it's Tiffany.henry90@my.ecc.edu.jm.
All right, so you're in the class providing that the email is correct. All right, guys, it's over the time. Have a good evening, everybody. I'll talk to you. We'll finish up the lecture on Wednesday. Just remember to, if you're still having a challenge uploading, we can wait until Wednesday and we try to sort it out. But I think there's something that you probably didn't do on your side why it is telling you that. Because usually students upload without a challenge. All right. So if anything, if you're still having a challenge, just wait until Wednesday when I see you. Then we do the final upload. All right. Because I'm going to mark them.
You said don't upload it today, try tomorrow?
Yes. No, all I'm saying for the person or persons who are having a challenge uploading, you don't have to upload. If you're trying to upload and you're having a challenge, don't upload it until Wednesday. If you're having a challenge. For example, Fabian cannot upload, so I'll say to him, don't upload or make another member in the group try or wait until Wednesday. All right. Okay, everybody.
Understood, sir. Understood.
All right. Have a good evening. I have another class and I'm 2 minutes late. All right, guys. So see you on Wednesday.
Cool.